to say that you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Winner of the 2018 award in the innovation category, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And as always, I'm joined by my blessed, highly favored, south of the 49th, Mr. Kinte, and a solution what is up, Kinte? For someone's problem.
Hello, hey, how you doing? Sorry about that, I was on mute. I'm so happy to be here with you, and I'm looking forward to this episode tonight.
Yeah, we're continuing back by popular demand last Sunday, which was the 9th of February. We hosted a conversation called Kobe, Gayle, Snoop, Lisa, Bill, Susan, etc., etc. And so many people said, "Oh, I wish I would have caught it," or "I wish I got in on it. Can we make it happen?" So we're doing part 2 this week. We've got some people already joining on. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Luke also. And tonight we're joined by Madeline. Madeline, how are you? How are you?
I'm awesome. I got one of those foreign names, and you know what? I decided that I'm going to start making people say Madeline Carita, just because, it sounds good. It sounds good.
All right, so Madeline Carita, welcome to the conversation tonight. I just want to ask, but before we get into it, a little bit of background about yourself.
I have had the nickname Big Mouth for a very long time.
Okay.
I've done multiple radio shows. Big Mouth was one of my very first radio shows because I got a mouth like a shotgun. Eventually, it's going to explode in your face.
Okay, folks. Kinte invited her, so if you have any complaints, it goes on Kinte's shoulders. All right, not mine.
Yeah.
Never.
I got a mouth like a shotgun. It's always going to go off on the wrong time. But I've learned how to turn that into TV shows. I've learned to turn that into interviews, But I definitely have gotten kicked off of CNN for dropping the F-bomb.
Oh, wow.
Just letting you know what you're in for.
Okay, no problem. Well, on the replay, I'll edit. So that's no worry. I can't do anything live. So let's get into it. Okay. What is your take on this whole situation?
You mean the Snoop Dogg and Gayle situation, or the Gayle Kobe situation? There's a couple situations circling each other in this.
So let's break it down. So which situation do you want to talk about first?
I want to talk about just the Kobe situation in general because, right now is NBA All-Star Weekend. And a lot of us are feeling it. We are feeling the passing of Kobe Bryant. No matter how people feel about what he was acquitted of, mind you, we still have to take a moment of reverence because he was meaningful to people. Despite what he was accused of, he was still something that was meaningful and resonated through the Black community, right? Our sports stars mean something to us. I was a little ghetto kid, and being a football player, a basketball player, it was something that we saw as ways out of the ghetto, out of the system, out of the misery. And even if you knew that you were never going to be a football player, or a basketball player, basketball is something that was important to the Black community. And we lost a hero. So regardless of how everybody feels about it, I want to take that moment of reverence and say that we, as not just LA residents or we as a country, and not just Black people, felt the passing of Kobe Bryant. It was a cultural hero to Black people. And at the same time, he was a hero to lots of other people, regardless of how others felt about his legacy. So I want to talk about that. That was kind of what I wanted to kick off with.
Sure.
Now we can get into good stuff. I think maybe we need to backtrack and talk about the infamous Gayle situation before we get to Snoop. Because I think a lot of people are hearing details, but they don't really know what actually occurred. So I'm going to jump out and let you guys, pick up where you guys left off last week.
Well, so we basically left off last week where, we're just continuing the conversation and going through all different facets. So you being new, I think we value what you have to say about first the Gayle situation. We'll add, and also the viewers, whoever's watching live, whether it's through Get Vocal, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through Periscope, we'll certainly share those comments. But so let's get it from you first. What were your thoughts about Gayle?
I mean, I've seen pictures of Gayle standing next to Jeffrey Epstein. I've seen pictures of Gayle and Oprah standing next to Harvey Weinstein, right? We have seen them with people that we know were predators, right? That we completely know without a doubt were super predators. All it took was being a woman in LA for about 2 years and having any kind of like momentum to find out that Harvey Weinstein was a predator, right? I feel like those two people were predators out in the open. Like, I can say for a fact that when I was, about 23, I was a young model, and I went to the Victoria's Secret's compound. Even though it doesn't look like that now, but, we ain't models 24 hours a day. And I remember being in my underwear in this waiting room with other models, having a conversation as a 23-year-old, and realized that I was sitting with a 6-foot-tall 12-year-old. Where I was sitting there in my underwear getting ready to audition for Victoria's Secrets with somebody who just turned 13. There were girls in there who had not even had achieved menses yet. So, and you could walk into the building as a guest, as a girl auditioning, as a woman auditioning, and you could easily see that, like, I'm not necessarily comfortable with being in a room with 12-year-olds in their underwear to walk up and down a runway no matter what. Me as a 24-year-old, there's a difference between being a 24-year-old where you know what you're doing, you're making the decisions as an adult to do what you want to do, and being a 13-year-old thrust into a world full of pedophiles and predators. I've been working as a model for a very long time. There are a ton of predators in that industry waiting for young girls. And we knew that. And if Gayle knew anything about Jeffrey Epstein, if she was a journalist, and also being friends with him, just through Hollywood social circles, it wasn't a secret. It wasn't Victoria's Secret, right? It was a secret that was protected by money, or Harvey Weinstein. And for her to bring up Kobe, who was acquitted, mind you, I feel like, where's the attack for her friends? Where's the attack for Harvey Weinstein and the horrible things he did to so many people? Where's that attack? But she got time for Russell Wilson. It was not Russell. She got time for Uncle Russ. I'm trying to say the legit name, but we know it's Uncle Russ. And she got time for Kobe, who was acquitted of those charges. And if anybody had actually looked at the case before hopping on that wagon, they would have seen that this girl's own friends said that she came into a party and not only bragged about bagging Kobe, she also said that she was going to get her hands on the bag. She said to her friends, who are all women and had no reason to stab her in the back, that I'm going to get this money. Right? So if you're coming in bragging about having sex with Kobe Bryant and then saying, yo, I'm about to get this bag, that's a setup. Like I said, I'm a hood kid, and maybe y'all don't understand that, but I know what a setup is. That's a setup. And she was dumb enough to brag to people. And the thing is, I know I am a person, I've worked at a rape crisis center before, and I do believe in victims. But I'm from the hood, and I know girls who have told me that they have put holes in condoms to attract rich dudes. I know girls who have changed their pills out with Tic Tacs to land rich computer engineers. I know girls who have done some devious things to get ahead in the game. And in this situation, the proof did not lend to Kobe being arrested. And yes, I understand that might sound really controversial, but if you go and look at the case, you'll see that there's so many factors that this girl was obviously lying. And I always say, we believe rapists, we not really believe rapists, we always believe victims, and you should always believe a woman when she said she got raped. But in this country, if proof and evidence goes into disproving that this woman may have been lying, because we can't sit here and pretend that women do not lie about getting raped sometimes. The percentage is super low, right? But we can't say that there's not that 1% of assholes that will ruin it for other women. And I'm just being 100, because I know girls who have told me to their face that they've done these things. And I know the percentage is super low. I'm not saying all victims before y'all even try to jump on that. But there's still a 1% of women who do those things. And I want us to all know that there is one girl, like there have been girls who have told me that they, that they've changed out they've changed out their birth control pills with Tic Tacs to catch a man. And we're thinking this is a really rich young man, right? Kobe Bryant was a really rich young man who may have made bad decisions. But if you look at the case, there is a camera video of her taking a key and going into Kobe's bedroom. How bad do you want to convict somebody when you literally watch this woman, who was the hotel clerk, though? She worked at that hotel. She was the night person, right? She took a key and she snuck into his hotel. And then after the event, she went and bragged to her friends, who were all women, by the way, that she was going to get this bag and that Kobe had a giant dick. And as somebody who has been a rape crisis counselor, I don't know. I don't want to say that there's any one reaction that women have after being raped, but it's definitely not going to parties and saying, I'm about to get this motherfucking bag. And Kobe Bryant had great dick. And I snuck in his room. She said it to her homies. She just wasn't expecting her homies to go to court and be like, nah, bitch, I'm not protecting you. And this isn't the only case where we can talk about the case where the one woman got busted for lying on a football player about raping her, and the man who lost out on being scouted for the NFL lost his career and lost his life. Not his life, but he lost his life as a football player. He's never getting that chance again because someone told a lie. So I guess for me, people are quick to jump on things and they're quick to post stuff. But if you look at the case and you look at the evidence and the witnesses and the videos, right? I mean, not saying just because you go into a man's room at 3 o'clock in the morning, it gives him a right to rape you, right? I'm not saying that. But you sneaking into somebody's hotel room at 3 o'clock in the morning and then saying, I'm about to get this bag. I mean, the details it doesn't add up to someone who is telling the truth.
Amen.
And I mean, I still, as I am a woman, I love other women. I run Free the Nipple. I've worked as a rape advocate. And there is this world we don't want to talk about because it's not that much of the population. Like, I can say most women who say they are raped are telling the truth. They are telling the truth, and it is provable. And even if it's not provable, most people who say they are raped are telling the truth. But I still live in a world where women have admitted to me of doing some devious shit, like also saying somebody raped them as leverage.
Yeah.
Like, there's only a few bad apples, but we can't say that them bad apples don't exist.
No, I 100% agree with you. And let's just be honest. You need to have due process anyway. When somebody is accused of something, you deserve that. So, whatever, because now they're saying there's a new case that just popped off this week where somebody's accusing Rick James of rape from 1979.
Yo, he did that shit. He did that shit.
But my thing is, that was 1979. He's been dead for 15 years. Like, how are you gonna? At what point? What does that do? So
I mean, it's a part of things that have been happening, right? Just in general, we've been tearing down these old adages of the past. The society that's being created right now is so different from what it wasn't before, and we're kind of ripping down those things that can represent misery or injustice in the past. Like, that's why we're getting rid of all those old ass president's statues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think they should go to the museum so people can relearn how fucked up it is.
Right.
I think that they should be taken to places where you can be like, wow, that's fucked up.
Right.
Like for me, I walked through the Underground Railroad. And there was a part that was collapsed. This is in Yellow Springs, Ohio, where Dave Chappelle lives.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an underground tunnel, right? And part of the tunnel is collapsed. And they never went in and kind of dug the bones out. So you get to this wall and you realize that this is the sacrifice like that Black people have made for our freedom. There's nothing more bone chilling than watching a real examination, than seeing something that is a representation of something that's just real. But moving on from that, we can talk about that later. But situations fucked, yo. That's all I got on it. That's all I got. Like we have to come to the point where everybody has to be held accountable for their actions. And I'm telling you, most women, most men and women who say they are raped, they are telling you the truth. But at the same time, as I said, people have admitted to doing horrible things. For some reason, I'm the person that people walk up to and want to tell all their business to. Right? I've had people walk up and tell me, I totally killed somebody. And I'm like, wow, could you not tell me that? Ever. I've had people tell me their deepest, darkest secrets out of nowhere, and I don't know why they do. They just do. But I've had people tell me some things where I'm like, wow, you're not a good person. And they have definitely been, some of them have definitely been female.
Wow.
I guess for me, it's kind of like with the Kobe case and looking at if the court records and the witnesses had any kind of break in their armor, then I would be like, yeah, maybe Kobe went and did that shit. But when you look at the witnesses and who the witnesses were to the, plaintiffs, you don't have any reason not to trust these friends that she has.
All right. And they conveniently leave that stuff out too today. They mentioned he was accused, and they mentioned the whole thing about the apology, which is not an admission. But then they leave out, okay, well, we're going to go back. Let's bring up all the facts of the case. Oh, they leave that crap out. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, like if since we're going to retry it and pull it out, well, let's bring out the facts. You know, they don't want to do that. Oh, they want to leave all the exculpatory stuff out. It's really bogus. You know, it's very bogus. And, you know, I want to go back to the whole Snoop Dogg thing, part of it.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I guess to wrap that up, like, Gayle is bullshit for asking, like, I don't want to go to the Snoop Dogg part yet because we still need to talk about what actually happened between Gayle and Leslie, because I feel like a lot of people, like, you may have some old viewers, but I got some new viewers that, let's talk about between Gayle and Leslie, right? Mm-hmm. Do you feel that what she did by bringing up Kobe in the middle of the Leslie interview was optics, stupidity, or, I mean, I understand it's her job. Like, do you think that it was a good idea that she did that?
Not at all. I think she has an agenda that she's working from, and she's been consistent with it. So what she was doing was, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't a I'm doing my job. This is her and her homie Oprah's agenda. And so it goes, you know, because people keep saying like it was that's why I said last week I'm not going to split hairs on what she was trying to do and all that, because this is not a one-time thing that we're going off of. This is a series of behavior. So if it was a one-time thing, I think most people would be like, okay, she was doing her job. I don't like how she was doing her job, but it is what it is. Yeah. So, you know, I believe that this was she did what she wanted to do, what she was trying to do. And so I really believe that I was just glad that people called her out on it. I was so happy that's what happened, because a lot of times, a lot of us from our community be doing that stuff and they never get called out on it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I was glad, and it needed to be harsh. I feel like it needs to be harsh. It needs to be, painful, and I was glad that, that's what happened. So kudos.
I don't know if that's okay to wish. I mean, I want her to get a lesson. I don't know if I want it to be painful.
It needs to be painful. It really does need to be painful.
It needs to be. Like,
why not?
Like maybe we should have had a real talk with Auntie Gayle.
You know what? You know why that's not going to work? Because who she answers to, she don't answer to us. So she doesn't really care. She doesn't care what we feel about her, because we're not the ones that pay her bills.
But we are the ones who pay their bills.
But that's not how she thinks about it.
If we stop supporting what I always find is just so like, it's like looking on the outside in with Black people, right? Mm-hmm. We command so much power. We can shut down businesses. We can stop your shit cold. If we don't endorse it, people stop fucking with it. The problem is that we've allowed ourselves to think that this one company who we control, we have, like, the black dollar is trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Mm-hmm. But we continuously sell ourselves out, sell our power out, because we have the ability to shut down her boss. We have the ability to shut down Gayle and her boss. I feel like we just don't understand as the community, how much real power we wield.
No, I see. I know that. I know that, and you know that. But I don't believe that's the way she sees it. She sees it as my masters are CBS, and that's who I'm serving. So I don't think she sees it.
Relaxer, so I mean,
right. I don't. Yeah, I don't feel like she feels that. So in her mind is, I have to service my masters, CBS, and forget our community, right? So that's how I believe. So that's why it had to be painful, because that's the only way she gonna see it, That's the only.
I don't think that the pain needed to be there. I think that she just needed to be. I just think she wasn't woke. And you don't always have to be the most traumatic to wake people up. Like, being cruel doesn't always wake people up. It just shies them away from, like, your agenda, not your top, the vision you see. It just shies them away with that. Like, cruelty doesn't always show people the lesson you want it to show them.
I don't think it was cruel, to be honest with you.
Oh, I don't think what Snoop Dogg was cruel, but we were not y'all, but there were some people wilding on that page, threatening to kill her. Come on, y'all.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't think death threats. First of all, death threats are stupid. Because first of all, ain't nobody killing nobody, and
they have, though. That shit is mad scary. Like, we have had people who shot the president, John Lennon. If you can get a celebrity, you can get God. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ain't nobody gonna assassinate Gayle King. She not Tupac. She not gonna be coming out the club getting shot. So I'm willing to bet. I got 500 right here that says she ain't nobody gonna kill her. So
you never know, yo. I've had stalkers, and that shit is not pleasant.
Okay. Look.
It's not pleasant to see that shit. You don't want to wake up to seeing the letters, because
but you ain't doing fuck shit though. Okay. You're not doing fuck shit to your community. So to be honest with you, I don't have much sympathy for somebody who does things that are against our community. So honestly, I really don't care that much. I mean, do I want to see her get killed? No. But do I cry for her? Hell no. I don't cry for anybody who does that kind of stuff. Like, I brought him up last week, like Terry Crews. Yeah. I don't care about him. Like, I can't stand that Negro.
Terry Crews, though, you get fired over some Terry Crews.
I don't like that Negro. Straight up and down.
Muscles too big. Yeah, I love Terry Crews. And that's the thing about him. People love Terry Crews, whether you like him or not. He has something that is making him rich. And I love Terry Crews. But you know what? I've actually met Terry Crews, and he was one of the nicest people I've ever met. So I got skin in the game.
But wait a minute, Madeline. Is he really gonna treat you bad?
I mean, that's not the point, though.
But what is he really gonna treat you bad though? Seriously?
You know what? That's not the point, though. The point is he's probably always that cool of a dude, right?
No. Who's gonna treat you bad, Madeline? Madeline, who's gonna treat you bad?
But being a nice person, yo, that shit still goes along.
Madeline, who's gonna treat you bad?
I'll never know the feeling, but
Madeline, no, but who's gonna treat you bad?
You never know. I've been treated bad before. Like Cedric the Entertainer. Cedric the Entertainer was rude as fuck to me. I'm calling him out. I don't care.
Okay, one guy.
Rude as hell. For no reason.
Okay.
You know who I always have the weirdest meetings with though? Common. I run into Common in multiple cities all the time, right? We always lock eyes and then walk and then go past each other.
Common lied to my mother.
We've never said anything, but you know what? I got a video of it last time.
Common lied to my mother. He told my mother he was going to do our podcast, and he never did it. So,
so Madeline, let me ask.
I've looked Tommy in the eye a couple times. I even have videos of it. Yeah, he might not do your podcast.
He was supposed to do it.
Numbers on here. That's I'm good with that. But yeah, I always have the weirdest meetings with this dude, and I never plan on seeing Common. Like, I'm not at a Common concert, right? I'll be at like All-Star Weekend, and I'll be at a party, and then we'll lock eyes, and then we'll be like, and then that's it. That's all that ever happens. That's my weird celebrity like moment where we keep looking at each other like, do I know you? Like, okay, but yeah, moving on. No. Lots of people don't like I said, you hear me talking right now. Lots of people aren't going to agree with me and the treatment of Gayle.
Okay, well, but let me ask Madeline, what did you think about the actual interview that Gayle King did of Lisa Leslie?
I think that Gayle wanted another hit after the R. Kelly case. I think every one of her questions, because she got that taste of not being in Oprah's shadow. Shots fired, y'all. She got that taste of not being in Oprah's shadow for a second with the R. Kelly case. Because if you think about it, she's been hustling for a while, and the R. Kelly case was like her biggest breakthrough, right? Like, she broke through. White people knew who Gayle King was. And not just the white people who wake up to see her on Good Morning America. I meant like people like my age that like are like, who? She became white people famous. And she wanted another hit of that. And I think Lisa Leslie, like, I don't even know why she was interviewing Lisa Leslie. I feel like Lisa Leslie was a pawn to have a reason to ask about Kobe. Lisa Leslie was set up. They set Lisa Leslie up, which is another reason why I'm like, you see these two. I don't think Snoop Dogg did anything wrong, personally. Because I would have called her so many worse things. But maybe it would have been different coming from me, I guess. Because I definitely would have called her a bunch of names. Because I feel like she set up Lisa Leslie to be a pawn in her trying to get that hit of the R. Kelly case back. Well, she wanted the excitement. She wanted the hit. She wanted the adoration where it wasn't her as Oprah's best friend, because that's what's in the papers. That's how people knew her before she had the R. Kelly case. Gayle, Oprah Winfrey's best friend. That's got to start to get on your nerves. And she got Gayle King. She didn't get Gayle, Oprah's friend. She got Gayle King, the journalist.
Okay. So Madeline, I have some feedback here on YouTube. The Inspired Thought is saying Harvey Weinstein has not given interviews, but Gayle did interview his lawyer, and she was not kind to her either. And she's saying the Inspired Thought is saying it's her job, period. Also, have any of you actually watched her other interviews? She is consistent in all the interviews, including the one with Harvey Weinstein's lawyer. If the station received death threats, then it's a possibility. So do you have anything you want to respond to on what the Inspired Thought is just put is in comments?
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein's lawyer. Okay. Anyway,
I guess you have to think that the law is fair for that to work. I guess for me with that, yeah, but there was no reason to have Lisa Leslie there unless it was to ask basketball-related questions. It was way too convenient. You know, it didn't take Murder, She Wrote to know that Gayle King had set up Lisa Leslie to talk about Kobe, because why else would Lisa Leslie be there? And it wasn't the station receiving death threats. We were literally tripping y'all and sending Gayle King death threats. And yeah, I know that she wanted the attention, she wanted the hit, she wanted the like R. Kelly fame again. Because I do journalism, I work in this industry too. We are all looking for that moment that you get that break and you want to continue on that break. And Kobe and inviting Lisa Leslie to the show was a good move to be able to open up lines of questioning about Kobe Bryant at the moment he died, because it was the hottest story in town. She wanted to dick ride Kobe's death, and that's why she called Lisa Leslie. And it's like, you can feel that way, but I know a setup when I see one. Right? It's not like, oh, I accidentally called Lisa Leslie at the time of Kobe Bryant's death. Gayle King knew what she was doing. It was pointed, it was calculated, it was researched. She knew what she was doing in order to get that extra boost in her algorithm.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with that 100%. And going back to Snoop Dogg, in a way, Snoop Dogg helped Gayle King, because what happens is it made her into a victim. And then the focus became how Snoop Dogg was misogynist and all of this kind of stuff instead of what Gayle had done. And then when he apologized, it just made Snoop Dogg was great for Gayle, because now it was all these people came to her defense, and then it became this man versus woman thing and all of this kind of stuff. So in a way, Snoop Dogg helped her out, and then he apologizes. So he admits, that he was wrong, at least that's what he says. So, I feel like, it's like, in a way Snoop Dogg was wrong. Now, I sent you a clip, Dr. Vibe. It was a speech from Arrested Development, and he was great, what he had to say about the situation. Like, speech was on point. He usually is on point about most of the things that he said, and he just kind of broke it down. And he's very kind of, I don't know if you guys remember Arrested Development, the group, not the TV show. That he's always been an activist, and very level-headed, and what he had to say was really on point, and definitely guys check that out, him talking about the whole situation.
So then, if you two, and I think there's some others here, Lauren is saying she felt it was a setup. I'd love to get Maya and Luke, if you've seen at least the interview, if you thought it was a setup, yes or no, would be great to hear. Then, Madeline, what do you feel Gayle should have done different? I
think Gayle should have left it the fuck alone. Like, she just left it alone, at least for a little while. In the last couple years, Black people as a whole, we've been mourning so much. We lose so much, right? We're dealing with a lot of trauma, right? We're dealing with the fact that it's 2020, but we still got to march for the lives of our children, and I think that we needed our moment to grieve. I think she should have left it alone until we had some breathing room, not being right on it. Because when something is hurt, the last thing you want to do is rush in on that, because that's how you get bit. Like, if you see a hurt animal, don't run at a hurt animal. Don't run at a hurt person. Sometimes you got to let people breathe, or they're going to attack you.
So then let's, pardon me for interrupting then. If you're Gayle King, when would have been a good time to ask Lisa Leslie about that trial, if at all?
mean, at some point, yes. At some point, you can definitely invite Lisa Leslie. I think it was bad optics. It was bad timing, which is something that goes into being a journalist, is being able to tell when something is important to be dropped or should be held back. Like, I run a marketing company, so part of being a marketer and also doing the personality thing, hosting TV shows, is knowing when and when not to do things. That's part of the job too. Timing is important for this job. Timing is important for this career in general. I think that she should have just gave it some breathing room, like 3 weeks, yo. I mean, you okay? How long, if your grandpa just died, how long would it take for you to be able to at least process that, right? Because people don't want to see Kobe as important as he was, but Kobe was really important. Like, there's literally a time in history where every time somebody threw something in the trash and it made it, they said Kobe, right? Like, he was a legend to us, and I feel like at least a couple weeks, damn, she didn't give it no breathing room. If she had done this 3 weeks later, like, she could have even done it around now, even though tonight is the night. Like, anybody on her research team would have told her to try to drop this at NBA All-Star Weekend, not right after he died. I think it was a matter of bad optics from her team.
Well, what I believe is, she did what she, like I said, she was doing what she's supposed to do as far as how they put her out there to be. So she, whether it was whatever day or whatever, her job is to, what they have her doing is to do some fuck shit. So what I'm saying,
to say no, right?
Yeah, but she's on that team though. She wants to be a part of that. And she's been used to getting away with it.
You know what? A bigger story would be Gayle King leaves CBS because they was on some fuck shit.
She wasn't gonna do that. She's not gonna leave because of no black people.
We are currently in a culture where, like, even though everything is fake, integrity can make you enough. Gayle King wouldn't be CBS's bitch right now if she had just rolled with the fam.
She's not gonna do that. She's not gonna do that. And then, but here's the thing, though.
If a Joe Rogan exists, Gayle King could exist. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no.
You don't have to live within the perimeters of CBS.
No, I agree.
It's garbage.
I agree, but what I'm saying is Gayle is a part of that machine, so she wants to be a part of it. So this is not like, oh, they put me up to it, and this is what I have to do, and all of that kind of stuff. No, this is I'm a part of this. This is who I am. This is who I am as a person. That's why I don't have no respect for her or a lot of these people. Like I said, it's clear we have enemies, and she's one of our enemies, our community. And that's why I don't even split hairs about why she did it or any of that. To me, it's pointless. So that's why I don't.
Trade Gayle King for Bernie Sanders? I'm down to trade Gayle for Bernie. Come on, y'all. Well, do a senator from the Bronx for Gayle King, who's down for a race trade. Come on, y'all. But just going back to the Snoop part of it is, Snoop said what he said, he took it back, and then all of a sudden, but when he said what he said, you got these people who trying to stand up for Gayle who ain't never stood up for no black people ever, like Morning Joe and all of this stuff. And I'm sitting there like, sit down. You don't like black people. Quit. It's funny. You only like black people when somebody black is connected to some, like, you want to protect the fuck shit. So now all of a sudden you like black people because, oh, they're doing our bidding. Well, let me support the person. Stop it. Like, I don't know if y'all saw the Morning Joe rant where he's like, she's a black woman. I'm like, stop it. You ain't never liked black people. So stop it. Sit down. Sit all the way down with that. Sometimes I wish one day I could just be on the dais when that BS go on. It'd be my last time on television, but because I couldn't sit there, and I don't know how these black folks do it, how they could sit there and listen to this BS that is getting put out there.
But you know,
copious amounts of cash.
I guess, yeah, you know, I don't know. I've never had 7 figures thrown at me, but I've had a lot of money thrown at me. And if it ain't the right situation, I don't go rock with it.
Wait. Did you get these money thrown at you on or off the pole?
To not be on the pole is what I got it thrown at me, is to get off the pole. So which is hilarious. But I don't know, man. Like they say in dominoes, not all money is good money. But
yeah, not all money is good money. And I mean, oftentimes the desperate money you take is going to be your undoing.
Right. But if you got a soul, though,
corrupt eventually does blow up in your face. Like,
yeah, that's if you got a soul, though. Like, some people ain't got no soul.
I'm just going to interrupt for a second here.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just interrupt for a second. Just catch up on some comments here. Lauren is saying she was trying to trap Lisa on that. The line of continued questioning after the answer was given multi times. Then Lauren says, then we should also do the same with other reporters as well. And then let's see.
I agree with that. Get him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of him abusing
Lauren is saying it was a setup.
Everybody accountable, including Gayle.
Laura says that, yeah, it was a setup. Maya saying definitely a setup. Maya is saying she should have stayed on point with touching on Leslie's feelings on losing her friend and had not been disrespectful to bring up the situation at that time. Luke says American news usually includes opinion. Nothing unexpected in the interview. Gayle's no Walter Cronkite. Maya saying he wasn't even memorialized yet. No one should have brought it up. It still should have not been brought up until March or April, if it's even that important to discuss. Lawrence saying this weekend would have been a good with the All-Star team game. Maya saying Oprah can give her own news show on her network. LOL. One other thing I'm going to add, and this is someone was speaking to me about this tonight before I came on live, and this is just their opinion. They're saying Gayle had 17 years to ask Kobe about this.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was not brought up till after he recently passed away. I'm just bringing another person's opinion up there. That's not mine, but that was something I had not heard in all the commentary around this situation.
And he talked about it while he was alive, fairly recently. A couple of times people have brought it up. And so, and then he didn't shy away from it either, to his credit. Like, he actually talked about how that changed his life and whatnot. So, my thing is this, when it comes to the whole Kobe thing and all of that kind of stuff. Like, I remember when Barbara Bush died. And when Barbara Bush died, people started bringing up that fuck shit she said during the Hurricane Katrina. And people were talking about, oh, that's out of pocket because she's dead and all of that stuff. And
well, the difference is that people were saying that she said fuck shit to her face.
Right. And my thing was, nah, like, because I'm gonna tell you, when Rush Limbaugh died, I ain't gonna be nice. I'm not gonna be nice at all.
He's still alive as of last week.
No, I'm talking about when he died. It's got to be soon. He got to be about to kick the bucket soon with his decrepit, sick ass. But he deserves it, though. He's a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? He's a horrible individual. Like, and not everybody deserves the same kind of respect and dignity when they go. Absolute evil should be treated that way. So, trying to bring up apples and oranges and stuff like that, is completely different. But when we're talking about, this sports figure and whatnot. Hey, Dr. Tachi.
Okay, so back to Rush, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Rush Limbaugh is a piece of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's a piece of shit that revolutionized AM talk radio.
Okay.
Not saying
talk
he deserves
radio in general, yeah.
But I'm not gonna I hate him, and I think everything he stands for is disgusting. But he did revolutionize AM radio.
Birth of a Nation revolutionized film. The movie Birth of a Nation revolutionized film. Fuck that guy who made that shit. You know, like I hope he's burning in hell.
I want to bring up that Rush did do one thing for. He brought back a dying art form.
And I hope he burns in hell when he dies.
Yep, me too.
I hope it hurts. I hope it hurts.
All right, let's get back on.
Look at it. He's like, you don't want to go. Can I say it one more time? I hope it hurt. I hope it hurt right now, whatever he's going through. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so two things before we go forward. First of all, I want to shout out Dr. Tachi, host of the livest on-stream live stream about media, tech, and pop culture called Mediascope, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesdays, IG Live, 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
And my dance instructor, I'm speaking into existence. I don't know. I can't dance, Madeline. So I'm trying to get.
Wait. So wait, hold up. Is this shout out time? Because I need to shout out my stuff. Yo.
Hold on.
Check out the Madeline Carita show, which is coming to MCN 6. Yeah. My first guest was on the cover of Time magazine in 2019. You will never guess who it was. Other than that, you can catch me reading books on Amazon. I did a feature film recently called Familiam 2, Cosmic Crush, if you're horror geek fans out there. And I'm dope. Follow me on Queen Kong Kai. You may see my butt. Who knows?
I was waiting. I was gonna have you do that at the end, but you'll probably do it at the end again. So
yeah, because I'm me.
So back to Dr. Tachi. Yeah, you can catch your 6 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesdays on Periscope and Facebook Live and LinkedIn and WJMS Radio and a few other platforms. So, Madeline, so let's move forward in regards to what did you think about Snoop's initial comments and Snoop's 2 apologies?
I mean, I thought the initial one was just, it wasn't that it was anti-Gayle. It was just like something I would imagine my like old OG uncle to say. Like that shit was like, okay, cool. I could not find myself really getting offended at him calling somebody a funky-headed dog bitch.
Even I.
Literally, like it's literally part of his brand.
You know what?
I mean, this is a person who has hung out with NWA. He hangs out with Dr. Dre. He was part of the gangster scene, right? And I think part of what made the decade with NWA and all of that is that they kept it all the way fucking hood. Now, if he had said he was gonna shoot her, well, we know Uncle Snoop got problems because murder was a case. And you know what? There are youngins that don't even know that murder was actually a real case with Snoop Dogg, right? They forgot Uncle Snoop actually killed people. Like he was no joke. He didn't say anything that you would have thought 19-year-old, 20-year-old, or 30-year-old even Snoop would have even said. He is more calm than he has probably ever been in the history of gangster rap. And I mean, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have called her a bitch. But at the same time, she shouldn't have been asking Lisa Leslie about the death of her friend. That's what bitches do.
So then let me ask.
We're going to sit here and pretend that we don't call each other bitches and hoes and shit. And yeah, you can say that culture is wrong, but let somebody cut you off in traffic. You calling him a bitch. So.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah.
As someone who doesn't like Gayle at all. I don't like black men calling black women bitches. That is, I'm vehemently against it. I feel like that, you know, as much as I don't like her and I don't like black people who are like that, I don't feel like perpetuating that is good either. But what I will say is Snoop Dogg. And everybody, it's like what Speech said. Everybody loves Snoop Dogg saying bitches and hoes and all of this stuff. And then, he's at the White House, he's this and that. But now they want to say,
was himself.
Right. Now it's problematic now. All of a sudden they care about him. Wasn't he the guy that showed up at a awards thing with 2 women on dog leashes? You know what I'm saying?
They agreed to it. The bitches was into it.
Yeah, but
dog leashes, bitches, damn.
Yeah, but I'm sitting there like, so I'm like, oh, now he's a problem. It's just kind of funny to me. But no, I do not. Is even people I don't like, I would say don't. That's not good. And then honestly, what it ends up happening is what happens is if he could said that without those words, then you could just deal with what he was really saying, which was on point. By doing that, it made it easy to discount, and then it turned her into a victim, So it's like if you're in a relationship and you arguing with your woman, right? Mm-hmm. And then you say some profanity in the argument, then she'll just focus on you cursed at me, even though you didn't say nothing at her, you just said, this effing stuff, blah, 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 blah. Then she'll just focus on that.
Wildcats then that's on. Like, oh, what? I'm a what? Fuck you too.
Well, unless you're dating Madeline, then it's all right. But most other women, then that's what'll happen. So, but so that's the big problem what I had with what he said. But other than that, but what he expressed and all of that kind of stuff was straight on point. He was on point, and I was glad he did it. So
Madeline, then what did you think about both of Snoop's apologies?
I mean, if anything, I hope they were working together because this would have been a long con. I think Snoop Dogg is, regardless of Snoop Dogg doing whatever it is he did, Snoop Dogg still capitalized on one of the hottest moments of the year and didn't have to morally trade in his blackness to do it. Right? He stayed on brand. Snoop loves black people. He loves being black. He loves culture. He loves everything about us. Right? Snoop did not leave brand. Right? He was still himself. But Snoop Dogg, Calvis Broadus, is one of the most savvy social media celebrities in 2020.
But okay, so let me ask then, Madeline. You're saying he stays on brand. Some people have said that by Snoop apologizing, it makes him look weak, and that he did the apology because he probably got pressure from maybe some brands to apologize.
I don't think that. I think we're focusing on like he may have gotten pressure or he may have gotten paid, right? Because don't think that this didn't make Gayle King's algorithm jump, because it also made Snoop Dogg's algorithm jump. Like, as I said, I run a media marketing company called NTF Media, and a lot of what I do is study analytics. I study what is hot, when is it hot. I look at things like trend analysis, trend prediction, what is hot that day, what is trending, what is not. Snoop Dogg is a savvy media marketing celebrity. He knows his brand and he knows his business inside and out, even to the analytics. Don't let them blunts fool you. Inside the mind of Calvin Broad and Snoop Dogg is a savvy celebrity. He has managed to outlast Paris Hilton. He came from a rapper to a television host, movie star. We sleep on Snoop Dogg, but when you look at his resume, he is very savvy about what trends to hold on to, when to jump, when not to jump. He made a decision to jump that turned out to be profitable for him too, because he apologized. We live in a country where we'll pretty much forgive Snoop everything, right? We acquitted him of murder. We love Snoop. Snoop is a brand. Snoop is a brand that represents something to me and kids that were raised in the hood. The kids that were raised on NWA, the kids that were raised on, not real hip hop, because, there are people making real hip hop right now. Despite what old hip hop fans say, there's real good hip hop happening. But the onset of the phenomenon that was gangster rap, Snoop lasted from that and has been building his brand to be even bigger than what you would ever imagine any other gangster rapper has ever done. Like, we sleep on like the media mogul that Snoop Dogg has become, but he is one. We can't forget that. No matter how down to earth, we know that he's a media mogul. He had his own brand, and that upped his brand also. So if anything, I hope they're all working together to help each other's brands out, because they They have automatically raised all the algorithms by having this amount of drama. It raised the number of pings on all of their brands across the board. If anything, this was healthy for everybody involved except for Lisa Leslie, who had to sit through questions of her being asked about her best friend dying, right? Everybody wins in this except Lisa Leslie, and that is where my beef with Gayle King comes in. We're not thinking about the emotional impact on Lisa Leslie. We worried about somebody calling her a funky-headed dog bitch. Are you serious? First three of those words definitely don't offend me. But we're not worried about the feelings of Lisa Leslie, who lost her friend, or of Vanessa and her children. For a case that Kobe was acquitted of, and the girl's friends even testified that she lied about. I mean, are we saying believe the victim at all costs, even if that means that the proof doesn't make any sense? Like, people want an equal country, but we have to also hold the idea of logic and proof, things like proof, accountable, especially when people are passing. And especially to their loved ones. Why didn't she go and ask the head of the football commission? You know, why did she choose somebody who's literally their best friend? She picked the most vulnerable moment to talk to Lisa Leslie about the death of her friend at a vulnerable time for the entire nation. It was bad optics to ask a question about right now. And I feel like there was a disconnect because her bosses, it was a big thing among white women to bring up that Kobe Bryant was a rapist. It was huge. I was looking at all the pages and studying all the analytics, and the analytics even tell you, if you look at the analytics, that it was mostly white women in the age demographic that watches Good Morning America that were the most upset about Kobe Bryant being accused of rape. Right? That was the largest demographic that was looking at that, and you can look at the numbers. So I feel like her office and the people in her office are probably going to be predominantly white women.
Oh,
right? Yeah. I feel like the people in CBS is going to be predominantly white. Even if there's a few black people in there, I think the culture of CBS is predominantly white, just like the culture of ABC, just like the culture of lots of our major networks. Black people are just now breaking into those ranks. We are just now being able to do that. And we're not even doing it through them. We are doing it through the internet. We are creating our own new pathways into the media because it is so closed off for people of color. Right? I think Gayle is coming from a predominantly white culture, and that was a big thing for them throughout their Twittering, throughout their Facebook posting. It was a huge thing for white women to bring up, well, Kobe's a rapist, right? But none of them went and looked up the case itself, or else they would have realized, like, maybe I'm overreacting to this because women have lied before.
Yeah, but
horrible to think about, but it has happened, and it's less than 1%. Most of the time, if something has happened to a woman, she is telling you the truth. But there are still people who are greedy. And I think Gayle fell in the line of somebody who got greedy. She wanted another hit from the R. Kelly case. And she was willing to go after vulnerable Lisa Leslie to do it.
So, Madeline, let me get your take on this. Snoop Dogg apologized twice. Do you think Gayle King should apologize to anybody, and if who?
I think she should apologize to us, the people who watch her.
Why?
Her community.
What's the apology for?
That's who got hurt the most. I feel like, well, no, Lisa Leslie was probably hurt the most. I'm going to be 100. I think Lisa Leslie was definitely the person hurt the most by her line of questioning. But we were the people who were mourning at the time. That's why she had such a virulent reaction on her Instagrams, her Facebooks, her Twitter. Us, the other brown people, are pissed off at Gayle King. We are. And when Snoop said what he said, it was okay for some people to be like, well, misogyny is not okay, but she's still wrong, though. No, I want to hear that she's wrong, first, and then we talked about Snoop Dogg about his dropping of the B word. One was within brand, and it was Snoop. Not a surprise that Snoop called somebody a bitch. He called regular people bitches. He called normal people bitches. He calls all types of people bitches. I think if you've ever watched his show, West Coast, I think. Well, whatever. There's a Snoop Dogg show on YouTube, and the end of his show just says, "You funky-headed dog, bitch." That is literally the thing you hear as the show leaves the set. He literally said the end of his show on YouTube. So, I mean, we can feel like it's wrong, but we need to call Gayle King on the carpet for not only humiliating Leslie, because that's humiliating, on top of also being insensitive, right? But it was also at a time where we were mourning. Like, there needs to be some kind of respect for not just Gayle King's feelings, but the feelings of the people who are dealing with these past traumas, who are dealing with the loss of their hero, right? As Black people, we're dealing with a lot. We need some wins. Kobe Bryant was a win for us. Kobe Bryant was a legend, right? And we can say, oh, but he bounced a little ball, but he meant something to lots of people. And whether you want to believe the rape acquittal, because they keep forgetting to add acquittal to it, because the evidence definitely stacked up that the person accusing him was lying. It's easier to vilify a Black man than it was to vilify Harvey Weinstein, than it was to vilify Epstein. Where she said shit about Trump. I mean, she had time to vilify Kobe Bryant for something he was acquitted of because it happened against a Black white woman, and her upper echelon employers that was a case versus their friend being a disgusting predator, violent predator that preyed on young actresses and forced them into degrading and humiliating situations. Where's that expose at? And just like talking to somebody's lawyer, that is not the same as talking to their best friend.
I agree.
Lawyer is a hired professional, right? Lisa Leslie wasn't hired or a professional that was used to going in and defending her best friend who had just died, right? It's not the same. Asking a lawyer questions, you are dealing with somebody who knows how to control their feelings. It is their job to talk about the case. It's literally a lawyer's job to talk about what's happening with their client. It is not their best friend's job to talk about what is happening. There is a difference between Lisa Leslie and talking to a lawyer. And I think that maybe Gayle King needs to talk to her friend Harvey Weinstein. She needs to pull that interview. And we can't talk to Jeffrey Epstein anymore. So she needs to start going after her friend circle before she starts going after Black legends.
Right.
Because that's literally going after our memories. It is going after our pain in which to profit off of. The difference is that we're a lot more savvy too. As CBS has stayed the same, us, the children of the internet, have gotten faster and more savvy every single day. So we are now able to see that the strings that are pulling inside of the whole CBS ABC game that they have going on. We are seeing the the wizard, once he comes out from behind the curtain. And I don't know if they realize how rapidly we have changed as a people, that we're not going to sit here as Black people and continue to let our feelings and our memories become invalid in the face of regular mainstream media. Okay. I know I smoke all this weed, but I got a little bit of knowledge.
So Madeline, then
Speaking
do you
of
also feel
42024/7.com, all your smoking needs. Also, we will be selling celebrity Snoop brands. Celebrity Snoop Brands is coming on the 420 24/7 because I really do support Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. Then do you think also Gayle should apologize to Kobe's wife?
I think she needs a couple of apologies, not just because she's worried about the internet and her optics. If she wouldn't apologize without filming it, I would maybe give her some credit on being a human with integrity.
I don't think
she didn't do it as a media spectacle. I would give her some credit, but as for now, she's gonna have to re-earn the trust that we have had in her as the citizens of the Black race in America. She needs to return some of that, even though I'm not gonna say I'm not making anybody's feelings that Snoop Dogg saying something like calling somebody a bitch isn't. You are allowed to feel that it's misogynistic, right? You are allowed to feel that way, and he did apologize. But are we gonna hold Snoop Dogg to a higher caliber than Gayle King? Like, I'm fine if we held them both to the same caliber, but people were going harder on Snoop Dogg than they were on Gayle for asking such horrible, having the audacity to ask somebody's best friend, lure them on her show, trap her on her show, and then have the audacity to question her at a time when her heart was ripped out. You know what? I can only think about the things I would have said, and it definitely wouldn't have been calling anybody just a funky-headed dog bitch. I'm gonna keep that 100 with you. I don't like it. I am not in agreement with a culture of victimization, even if you're a journalist. You are not allowed to victimize people's emotions and feelings because you feel that it hits your bottom line. That's called integrity. It's one thing to talk about something that is trending. It's another thing to sell out somebody and trap them in what would probably be that's a nightmare. You want us to be induced to watching Lisa Leslie, who was an amazing basketball player, who's an amazing woman still, watch her be subjected to being trapped while listening about the horrible things that her best friend who just died has done on live TV.
Okay. I don't know if you had a chance to give us your takes on Snoop Dogg's apologies. Did you give us your feedback or your take on those apologies?
I think Snoop Dogg he might actually be serious about those apologies. And also, once again, it's good optics. It is great optics to apologize. It just is. So whether he feels it or is intentional or not, it's still a good move to apologize regardless of the reason of doing it. So part of it, I could see it being a good media play because it's a great media play to apologize. It just is. We love apologies. We love the sinner who confesses their sin to social media, and then we heal them of their sin by them saying sorry in a tweet. So we love that. It's a story that humans love. So we will always probably forgive the apologetic sorry. I think he might. I want to say in air that he probably meant it. Not just that it was just a good idea, because his brand isn't slapping hoes anymore. It was slapping hoes, but now he's making cookies with Martha Stewart. I think Snoop needed a minute to remind us that no, he is still a gangster. He's just a gangster he's a gangster getting checks now. He is a media savvy gangster. He has taken the OG game to new levels that we in the hip hop community can't help but adore and love. He only called her a name. And I don't think that name hurt her as much as she hurt Lisa Leslie, though. You can call me a bitch all day. Shit. It gets my ratings up. I'm a sexy bitch if I'm a bitch. But, to make that kind of attack on somebody who was emotionally vulnerable after trapping them into an interview. I mean, maybe, you know what? I don't want to think Lisa Leslie was in on it because from her reaction, it didn't seem like she was in on it. But what Gayle King did to Lisa Leslie is way above and beyond calling somebody a bitch.
Agreed. Definitely.
Like,
and then we lost sight of that too. We lost sight of that, in defending in defending Gayle. We lost sight of, what the reason for the season, basically. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's this whole thing is real shitty. At the end of the day, there was a tragedy where a man lost his life with his daughter and 7 other people, and that's the real tragedy of the whole thing. And we almost forget that part of it. These people ain't never coming back. Their families are forever changed. So
And I mean, we need to be kind to the victims right now. Not the victims, the survivors,
yeah.
the family members who are left behind, the man who is left without a mother for his children.
Right.
Lisa Leslie is only she's gotten hit by the shrapnel of that in so many ways, and Gayle King helped that. I mean, we should feel sorry for the survivors. Lisa Leslie. We haven't talked about the fact that she lost her best friend. She lost one of her favorite people in the entire world. That hurts. That is crushing. I don't think that she was ready to talk about it at that time.
I think what this last few weeks has shown, though, also to me, is that there are 2 different groups here that are hurting. Black men are hurting in a lot of different areas, and also Black women are hurting. And one of the areas that they're both hurting in is relationships with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm put like this. I'm cool as hell. If you don't get along with me, you the fucked up one. Just saying. Just joking.
Not everyone rolls like that, but it just shows that like hurting people hurt people.
And that's true. Hurt people hurt each other. Like this, but at the same time, this wasn't about Gayle King being hurt. It was about her pockets hurt. Just to keep it on, it was about Gayle King's pockets hurting. It wasn't about whether Leslie was hurting. I mean, I'll put it out there. Gayle King was a shark. She ain't your friend. And yeah, I think she just wanted to relive the hit from the R. Kelly case. Because her algorithm jumped. Her optics for a small amount of time. She was the queen of social media. She was the queen of media for 5 seconds. Right? This woman who has always lived in Oprah Winfrey's shadow had 5 seconds, 15 seconds. And she wanted to make sure that her fame went longer than 15 seconds. And if that meant trapping Lisa Leslie into a horrible conversation, she was going to do it.
I remember Gayle King had a TV show, like a talk show once.
She did.
I remember the intro of it. It was like, oh, she was a TV reporter. She's this, she's that. And also, I think Oprah was doing the intro for it. And she's my best friend. Like, I remember they listed it as her accomplishments in life. I remember it. I need to find that. It was like, and she's my best friend. Like, oh, wow, that is hilarious. Yeah.
She wanted out of that shadow, and she was willing to sell somebody down the river to do it.
Yeah. It's a good shadow to be in.
Shaking my head over here. SMH, y'all.
Good. Yeah, I remember that, Tacky. Yeah.
So, go ahead, Kente. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say though, we just have to realize, and I get it, because like last week we were talking about, oh, she's a journalist and this is what she's supposed to do as a journalist and all that. And at the end of the day, I don't care about journalism or what they say they have to do. It means nothing to me. I look at our community and the ramifications in our community. I don't care what journalists are supposed to do or whatever, by whatever book that they say that they have to go by. I know if you're a journalist, that stuff means something to you. I just look at our community straight up and down. So, I don't care. It's like some people are police officers. And they say they got to do what they got to do. Well, I got to do what I got to do for my community. So that's how I look at it. So I really don't care about that kind of thing. So, But I'm glad we're having these conversations. They're very important and needed and necessary. And I just want to move forward in how we can better what can we do better for our community?
Yeah.
Because
how do we move forward from this?
Right. And
communication and patience.
Right.
That's how you move forward in anything. The answer is super simple. It's just we make it complicated. Communication and patience. That's really
and putting people on notice.
Most things.
Putting people on notice. Because now people got to think about it when they pull this crap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People got to think about it now. That's what the good thing about this is. Now it's like, wait a minute. We're getting checked for our fuckery. Because for a long time, people weren't getting checked. And I'm so glad.
An office of people, they just need like a Bernie Mac or something in every single major network, so he could be like, nah, that's fuck shit. Nah, white people are not down with that. We don't need any. They need at least one designated person that could just be like, motherfuckers. Designated Samuel Jackson in every single NBC, ABC building to just be like, nah. You shouldn't show that to black people.
My favorite though is the lady who said the Nakers. You know what I'm talking about?
Nakers?
That which is not what she said. She said the Los Angeles niggers, and then
she did say the Los Angeles niggers.
Yeah, and then she said no. I said the Nakers.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I'm sitting there like, what kind of Jedi mind trick are you trying to pull?
You know what? I listened to the clip multiple times. She didn't say Nakers.
Not at all.
Already dropping the N-bomb on this show. It's only 9:19 where I'm at. I don't know what time it is where you guys are, but it's 9:19 and we're already dropping the Nakers word.
Right.
Except I dropped the actual N-word because I thought that's what she really said.
Right.
Quoting it.
And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, what kind of bullshit you think? And then people were defending her, saying, I think that's what she meant.
No. I think that's what you meant. Doesn't change what actually come out of your mouth.
Yeah. No, I think subconsciously you said what you really wanted to say. I think that's what it was.
You know what? She says that at home and it rolled off her tongue too easy.
She thought she was at home.
You know how hard it is for other people to say the N-word unless they're alone by themselves listening to Jay-Z songs.
Right.
I know who you are.
Yeah. Did the other team start with the N? No, it did not start with an N. It started with a K. That she was trying to, but no, it's bullshit. That's bullshit. She did not say.
She said what she said.
She said what she said. I'm like, don't pee on me and say it's raining.
I mean, she did lose her job.
Yeah, don't pee on me.
Did they get rid of her?
I don't think they did. I thought they did, but I heard.
I don't think they got rid of her.
No, they didn't. I thought because it came out that they did, but
she don't have her job no more.
I have to look that again. I remember thinking that, and then when I looked, that she still had it. So even still, though, even if she lost her job, Fox News is gonna hire her like tomorrow. So she good.
She still lost her first job.
She good.
I mean, you know what? You're allowed to get fired and go find another job.
Right.
You are. Like,
Fox News will love her. Like, oh man, yeah. That's her audition tape for Fox News.
Like, what y'all wanted to never eat again?
Right. No, never. I don't care. See, I'm evil. No, she should never eat again. She should be underneath the overpass, panhandling for food. So I'm evil like that.
So as we close this conversation, Madeline, thank you so much for
what up, Curtis?
In regards to this conversation. If you had a chance to speak, okay, so I'm going to give a list of people and I want you to give your message to them. So first things first, what's your message to Gayle King?
I'm I mean, you know what? I think. Does anybody remember that scene from Hustle and Flow where he starts talking to Ludacris? What happened to you, man? What happened? That's the only thing I got. The scene where Terrence Howard is talking to Ludacris about what happened to Ludacris once Ludacris left the hood. Right? What happened? We thought that you were somebody that we could respect, somebody that we could trust, somebody that had our back. Now you come up here with this all fuck shit. I mean, that's literally how I feel right now. I want to be civil. I have the ability to be civil. I can say the most beautiful things about how we need to peace and all that. No, I need her to keep it real. What happened? What happened to the idea of blackness? What happened to the idea of your brothers and sisters? We in this together, girl. And when your masters are done with you, you're going to want to come back to us. You're going to want to be in a Tyler Perry movie. You're going to want to be on BET. Because what happens is they're going to be done with you. And then you're going to expect us to keep forgiving and taking back every time y'all spit in our faces. You know?
Kinte, what would you say? What would you want to say to Gayle King?
It's the same thing I would say to other black folks I can't stand who sell us out. Is you've been getting away with this shit for so long. We're coming for you. Oops. So
I am not a party to threatening Gayle King.
I'm not threatening. There's not threats, but what I'm saying is we're tired of it. And what we're going to start doing is putting pressure on your masters to censure people. And
is it masters with a T or with an S?
S.
Okay.
And that it will that's what I would say is the days of having a free pass is over. So what's up, Tiffany? And because the way I look at it is I don't see them as us. So like I said last week, they can all be on a boat and it can sink.
You know what? I'm not gonna break up with Auntie Oprah over Gayle King though. Gayle King is cool and all, and she made bad optics. I
don't like neither
Oprah
one of
does
them.
Mean something Oprah will always mean something in a context to the Black community and the Black lexicon of our culture. Oprah's always going to mean something. Just because she did this doesn't mean I'm going to take away the things that she has done. She is, she's a monolith. She has done some amazing things for the Black community. She brought things to light. She brought plays and movies, and she brought a lot of things to the Black community. And I'm not gonna I'm not gonna throw all the accomplishments that Oprah has done into the wayside because we currently having beef. I think part of the beautiful thing about Black culture is that people do come back to us, and we keep finding a way to forgive them. There is a beauty in finding forgiveness, even for Oprah and Gayle.
I'm not a forgiving person. Once you leave, bye-bye.
You're not a forgiving person.
I'm not. I'm really not. So once you leave, bye-bye.
No. Like once you're out, you're out. But there's still a level of forgiveness that I will still hold for Oprah, because I'm not going to take away the things that Oprah Winfrey has done.
What has she done?
Culture or the lexicon.
What has she done, though?
Like, yo, this was some fuck shit y'all did with Kobe, and we can talk it out. We can figure some shit out because of all the prior back history of Oprah. Oprah has went hard.
Oprah's done a lot of BS. Let's be honest. She's done a lot of BS. This ain't the first thing. So we can go back at her record. We can go way back with her record. So like I said, there's a list. And
humans are complicated. There's no perfect being on earth.
I don't expect nobody to be perfect, but I don't like people who orchestrate with our enemies against us. So,
I mean, I guess we're gonna have to talk about that later. Like,
well, we can definitely talk about that later.
Do you
But
feel the things that Oprah has contributed to Black culture are meaningless?
I mean, you could say a lot of people have
She's put in
contributed,
work. I'm not gonna play auntie and say she ain't put in work.
but I don't. I mean, my thing is this: there's a lot of people who have. Stephen Fetchit did. So I mean, you could say Stephen Fetchit contributed to Black culture.
And then maybe they did.
So, but my thing is, honestly, it doesn't matter. It's either you're for us or against us. Ain't that what George Bush said?
I mean, you don't really want to know George Bush.
He said either for us or against us. What did he say? He said, "Yeah, I'll work with the Democrats as long as they do what I want them to do." So,
and that's life. You know what? You can say what you want, but he kept it trill. That's life. That is usually how most people operate.
Dang, sorry.
Your goals fall in line, or you need to fall the fuck out of line. Like that's so usually that's society.
We're gonna close it down here because Mr. Kinte is tired.
Oh, you're gonna use me? That was just a yawn.
Okay. And then what would both of you have to say to Snoop?
Let me think. Pass that shit, homie.
Oh yeah. I just be like, I'm disappointed in you, brother.
Okay, so just building on that, Kinte, does that make Snoop look weak, and does it make Black men look weak?
No, he doesn't make black. I don't believe in that. He don't make Black men look weak at all. I'm just saying though, if you're going to get involved in these kind of political issues, then you need to be more tactful in the way that you do it and the way that you present it, because honestly, you do more harm than you do good.
But hold up though, right? Okay, when Snoop Dogg says something, he's saying it for every Black person, right? But if I said Jeffrey Dahmer did something, if I said Jeffrey Dahmer was the example and the goal of white people, I'm wrong.
He ain't.
I'm just saying, like, how is this okay? Where Snoop Dogg got to speak for every Black man on the planet, but Jeffrey Dahmer doesn't represent every white guy on the planet. Like that's some shit right there that I feel like, how come every Black man speaking got to speak for every single Black man on this planet? But when white people do stuff, they speak for themselves. Like, and I'm just in a media range, right? But when, like, that kind of like, and just in the media world, we're not even talking about real life, but he's got to hold up this mantle for everybody else, and everybody else gets to be this individual when it comes to their crimes. Like, if that's a view in our society that almost feels inherently racist.
But Jeffrey Dahmer didn't speak; he only ate.
Yep.
Okay.
The thing is, why should Snoop Dogg have to be held up as the monolith for every single Black person in the culture?
Oh hell no! You think I want Snoop Dogg to represent me? Mm-hmm. You think I want Snoop Dogg to represent every Black man? Oh hell no!
But he does though, because he's being expected to apologize, while at the same time, I couldn't be like, oh, we going after Kobe, but we got white rapists on our money. You paying and exchanging cash with dead white rapists on it, but you worried about Kobe. I mean, I'm just saying, that's who's on the money.
That's a whole other story, and we're gonna celebrate them tomorrow.
And we celebrate them tomorrow. I don't see anybody giving them $100.
Oh, Dr. Vibe is in Canada. Tomorrow's President's Day here,
okay, yes, I am aware. And it's questionable what celebrations they're having for some of your presidents, because some of your presidents were not the best of people.
No, not at all. And it's like one of those things where, okay, then if your problem starts at the Kobe Bryant, who was a Kobe, it probably needs to start at the fact that we got dead white rapists on our money. Really worry about that. Worry about what that sends. Like we need to worry. If we're gonna worry about Kobe, we need to worry about all of them, not just the ones that we have to stare at and look at as people who were victimized by these racist white slavers and rapists, because we were the people victimized by it on our money every day. We have to live
and just to let people know,
we fight for that money.
Just to let people know, I have set up a program for all you guys to get rid of your dead white rapist money. And so just, I'm gonna mail to you guys a briefcase. You just mail the briefcase back to me with all your money in it. And don't worry, we'll take care of it for you.
I mean, if we're gonna start, we need to start everywhere, not just like at the door of Black people. We need to start at the door of the originators of this bullshit. And you know what? And I ain't giving no money up. If you send me hundreds, I'm keeping that dead white racist money. I'm just gonna give 100 to you until it doesn't work anymore. I'm trying to get into Bitcoin, y'all.
No. I'm Madeline. I'm gonna relieve you of that money. Don't worry.
Hey. Bitcoin now. So I need that money.
Okay. Folks, we are gonna shut it down because it's getting crazy here. Cray now. So
we're gonna do an after show. We need to do it.
We do it. Let's do it.
There will be one. So Madeline, I'd like to say thank you for taking time out of your positive, productive schedule to share with us. Now, how could people contact you? You can tell us again now.
I am Madeline Fleming. Actually, my whole name is Madeline Carita Fleming. And you can find me underneath my name. Or you can find me at Queen Kong Kai at Instagram and YouTube. Obviously getting into trouble there too. As you can tell, I got some really strong opinions, and I definitely come and check it out. And I also have some really crazy adventures, like the time I accidentally went out on a Tinder date with a Nazi. So there's that.
Okay.
So, I talk about my adventures because in my other life, I do modeling and acting, and I'm in movies and I do runways, stuff like that. And then in my other life, where I have to contend with the Bernie Sanders inside of me, where I need to talk about issues and things facing us in America. I feel like I hope to see you guys there. Sometimes, as I said, occasionally you might see my butt cheeks. So that's and they're magnificent butt cheeks, y'all. Just letting you know that maybe you should and click like, comment, or subscribe on my YouTube because it pays my bills. Thank you for inviting me on your show. This has been amazing. The next place you can see me is the Madeline Carita Show, which is going to be on network television and Roku. So thank you for the invite. I hope I didn't scare off too many of your viewers.
No worries. And Brother Kente, where can people check you out?
Kente F on Twitter, Kente Ferguson on Instagram, and of course on Indie Radio, indyradio.org. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, we'll be back for another episode of 49th Black Man from the north of the 49th, south of the 49th. And we'll be doing our part 2 of Does Christianity Interfere with Black Empowerment? We have a all-female panel. It's going to be amazing.
Hey, put me on that one too. I got content. Hold up. Before we get off air, I want you guys to read my shirt.
I met God. She's black.
Hilarious. Yes.
So
and
just update that Kente said 7 p.m. Pacific is 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Hashtag, and as Luke says, hashtag Black Jesus.
Yes.
And one of the panelists for tomorrow night's conversation, Dr. Kachi, is actually in the room right now.
Yes.
So there you go. I am Dr. Vibe, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of epic conversations, the place for epic conversations. If you want to get in touch with me, best place is my website, VIBESHOW.com. You can catch all my epic conversations video-wise, podcast-wise. and all the places where you can follow me on social media and download my epic conversations. You can find that all there. I'd like to thank Maya, Luke, Tachi, Carlos jumped in for a bit. Lauren was here with us for a little bit. On the Facebook end, we had a gentleman I haven't heard from in a long time, William Sals, Salaise. Haven't heard from him since the other platform days. So a long time since I've heard from him. And there's some other people who are watching via YouTube. And if I don't name you, it's because of my head, not my heart. So for those who are with us live, we're going to do an after show. And if you think that this was crazy, the after show is going to be a whole other level. But I like to say, as always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions and then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Remember, you're blessed and highly favored, a magnet for miracles and a solution for someone's problem. God bless, peace be well, keep the faith, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow night